Mess right now. It's kind of like boxed in. Got the laundry basket. Because, just because we're packing up doesn't mean that there's any shortage of that. Actually, the dryer makes it really hard because we've had to prioritize, like, what's worth cleaning, you know. So, yeah. Mostly Chris's clothes and Jean's work clothes. Make sure to keep some clothes in there and I can only wear mine so many times, so that's what ends up last on that priorities list. Then we've got the bags of clothes that are garage sale. The garage sale bags. Got the box of I don't know. Are we keeping it? Are we not? Is it yes or no? Go put it in the sink, honey.
Can I wash my hands?
Yes. Then we got this. Ooh. That is what has been packed already. There's a couple things over there that I just need to get in a box. Not where it is, just because it'll be easier to move. But yeah, that's stuff that's packed already. I think we got a couple boxes here behind me, but yeah. Believe it or not, 3 of those boxes are holiday decorations. Just lights and different stuff like that. And a couple of them are stuff that I refuse to get rid of because they were Rowan and Rohan's. Or, I've shoved stuff in there that I'm keeping for them. They, used to belong to Eric and what? Or stuff like that. What?
Can I be in there, please?
Mwah. 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 Alright.
I can wash my hands and
Hug. Hands. Face. Nap.
Nap? Then video?
Yes, then video. Go take a nap. Oh, can you push that up in front of the TV for me?
What?
The box, the shoe box.
Shoe?
Yeah. We're actually going to have a closet for jackets and stuff, and we're actually going to hang up the thing. The shoe thing. So we won't have to use a box anymore. We'll just have something that we can open up the jacket closet and put shoes in there.
Cool.
Cool, yeah, that's right. Now go.
I can wash my hands and face.
Yeah, go wash your hands and face. Yeah, normally we put the box for shoes under the stairs. But right now, obviously, there's no room for that. There's actually more room than it looks like right now, because the paintings are actually blocking, a space. But yeah, that's a painting that's unfinished. After I, left the studio that I was working on it at, I just didn't know what to do with it. So the other one is upstairs. I have more, obviously. So, yeah, I haven't even gone into, what's on the walls and stuff yet. Except for, the lights. I needed to take out those, nails, go over them. Maybe I'll paint over them, too. Hell, it ain't like the landlord's gonna do it. We're not painting the whole wall. Just gonna plaster it and put a little paint over it. Probably spray paint. White spray paint. That'll be easy to go over if he actually redoes the walls like he's supposed to. By regulations, this place is up to be painted. Love you too! because you're supposed to paint it in between tenants. Yeah. If he don't paint it, yeah, he violating some rules. Starting to get the echo in here again. Because we moved some stuff around. Yeah, we got like a whole box of just board games. A couple boxes already of books are in there. Most of our boxes are probably going to be books. Keep in mind, like, a couple of these boxes were already packed away. So, it's my kid stuff. It's what I was able to save whenever I lost my place because they kept on calling my work. So, and then I ended up at this one job that, yeah. The lady who decides that stuff didn't like me much, so whenever I got my first complaint, it was literally not even bad. It was just, they complained about my tone of voice because the lady had spent like 30 minutes trying to get me to do something I couldn't do. I didn't have access to that account, so I couldn't do it for her. And you know, she was just parading me. There was actually a point that she called me stupid. And they basically fired me for being human. Because, you know, in one point they'll just tell you, no, you can't just go neutral. You cannot roboticize your voice. And on the other, they tell you, you know, you're not allowed to have feelings. You know, you can't just mask all of that. At some point, some of that is going to show through. And after somebody's been yelling at you for 30 minutes for something you literally can't do, and it was actually more than 30 minutes, but let's just go with 30 minutes. There ain't nothing that you can do about that. I mean, sooner or later, the fact that you are a human being, it's going to show. They use that as an excuse. They were also getting rid of my department, so instead of, I went back to I was asked by 3 different managers to reapply because I was good at my job, and that was like the only complaint I ever had. It was one lady who, after I couldn't do what she wanted, called and complained about my tone of voice. She was just looking for something to complain about because she wanted to get me in trouble because I couldn't do what she wanted me to do. So I actually lost my job because, you know, they were just looking for reasons to get rid of people, and I'd never had a complaint, and that was my first. She wasn't saying that I said anything bad or anything, just my tone of voice after being yelled at for that long was, I did sound stressed and exasperated. Somebody yelling at you for that long, that's what's going to happen. You know, that's kind of the natural progression of things. There's only so long that you can smile through a call like that. And it was still pretty early on in working on the phones. So I didn't know how to get out of that. I'm not even sure if, like, today I would know how to get out of that because I explained in all the ways that I possibly could. And we weren't allowed to hang up on people under any circumstances. So I didn't have the power to say, you know what, ma'am, if you keep on yelling at me, I'm going to have to hang up on you. I didn't have that. If we did that, we got fired. So, I mean, it was kind of a lose-lose situation as far as that went. We were actually told that if we did that to people, we would get fired. There was no situation in which we were allowed to hang up on people, no matter how extreme. And that was what got me fired. I mean, I even got like managers involved. Like, I think one or two of my managers even looked it up, like to see if we even could. Like to see if we had the account. But we didn't. It went through somebody else. So, we couldn't do that for her. We didn't have that stuff. We didn't have access to that stuff. So, and I didn't have access to transferring her either. So, literally, I could give her a phone number, but I couldn't do it for her. That was all I could do. And she just wanted me to do it right then, and she kept on saying, well, if you won't do this for me right now, I'm, like, quitting all my business with this company, basically. I'm canceling all my subscriptions. She was just throwing one hell of a tantrum. Like, was this bitch an adult? Did she even remember how to adult? And, that was what they used as an excuse for me. Because I sounded stressed and on the phone. Of course I sounded stressed. My tone of voice, I couldn't school that entirely. I mean, I didn't haul off and yell at her. I didn't dissolve into name calling. I didn't do anything inappropriate. They made me sign that paper, though. They said, you can either... I was left under the impression that if I signed that paper, they would hire me back in 6 months. Which didn't happen. And I got asked in the years since then to reapply. And I did. And first thing that lady did, the one who was involved in that, she said, why should I rehire you? She didn't like me to begin with. She was constantly getting on me because I have big boobs. Don't even get me started on that. When the hiring manager harasses you about having big boobs. I was constantly, she was just constantly getting on me for it. Like, she was letting people come in. Like, they wouldn't say anything. Like, they had shirts down here. I'd come in with something like this. And I'd get talked to. Because, you can see this much cleavage. And because I used to wear a bra. So you could see a little bit of cleavage. But it wouldn't be much. And she'd come after me and, nitpick my clothes and be told that's fine. Someone would actually have to step in and say, that's fine. There's not a problem with this. And she was just constantly on this. There was a point that she told me that if I did not buy body spray and use it at work, that she would write me up. Because some teenagers they kept on saying that I stunk because I was fat. And it wasn't actually because I stunk, not my ex-husband. I actually did shower. So, yeah, my ex-husband says that he just stinks, but he really just doesn't like to shower. It's not actually the fact that he sweats more, he just doesn't like to shower. So anyway, I'd walk a couple of blocks to work, and, I did have something. And she would actually say, that she couldn't smell me, but that these two teeny boppers had complained, and so she wanted me to do this or she'd write me up. Literally, it did not matter. She just picked on me any chance that she got. So, I just sort of took it quietly because I didn't want to get fired. And whenever, the lady who's in charge of that is harassing you, you don't get to make complaints. That's how you lose your job. Especially in a call center like that. That means next time they're getting rid of people, you'll be on that list. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. So, there were girls with like A and B cups, even C cups coming in with shirts like down here. Oh, and I do mean down there. There's this one chick that came in, is like on not even a little bit professional shirt, and it was like I didn't even know that shirts that low existed, and it actually like went down to like her belly button, and like it just kind of covered her boobs, and then just went between them. They didn't say shit. She didn't say shit to that. But if I came in with a shirt like this, oh hell yes. Okay. It's Gene telling me if nobody takes him, he's got more boxes. They're in the break room right now. Hopefully nobody takes them. Because we used them. No, I still need to neaten that up a bit with some more boxes. So anyway. Yeah, I hated that job. Well, I mean, yeah, it was a job, basically. I didn't really hate the job. I mean, I hated sales. Some of the campaigns were okay. But I hated sales. I hated the fact that we were supposed to leave out details that could, that people make decisions like this about. And I hated the fact that I was told, okay, you know what? I liked doing coupons, the department that they got rid of. I hated selling the paper because literally we were expected to deceive people to sell it. Someone who literally got in trouble for using his credit card on customer accounts to pay for the paper and stuff got hired back in 6 months. But if the hiring manager don't like you because she boob jealous, she jealous of the boobs, they ain't gonna hire you back, even if your only complaint is not even a violation of company policy. In my case, they actually violated their own rules because there is actually supposed to be a system in place so that you don't just get fired for stuff like that. But they were getting rid of my department looking for reasons. My numbers were low that day, so I was gone. That's not job security. That's... I talked to many people while I was working there, and they'd say, you know what? I'd only work there if I had no other choice. There was a reason why I asked if she was still there. Whenever, and I was lied to, so that's why I went and applied. I was like, I ain't even gonna do this because I know she won't hire me. She has something against my boobs. She has, this weird idea that what she did and her involvement in that was somehow okay because I have a disability. It's like she doesn't realize that it's not cognitive. I don't have a cognitive disability. It's not cognitive. I don't have a problem thinking, deciding things for myself, making decisions for myself. I have PTSD, which has nothing to do with that. Meanwhile, she was just terrible. She pushed me around because she could. It was terrible. She was a jealous bitch. And I can only say that because I know I ain't ever gonna have to actually deal with her. As if I had to deal with her, and knowing that I ever said that, even just venting about it. And I didn't even, realize what was going on until someone else pointed it out. I wasn't thinking about it. I was so used to dealing with so much crap from my ex-husband and shit. I didn't even think about why she was doing it. I just thought that she was mean. I just was like, yeah, she's kind of mean, kind of pushy. But what am I going to do? She's the manager. She is, she's one of the managers. She's the person that hires people. If you get laid off or, you cycle back out and you need to come back, you don't piss her off because she hires people. And I went out of my way to be as accommodating as possible to her. Shit didn't work. Shit didn't work. There was I think only one manager I didn't like, and it wasn't that I didn't like them, it was more that I didn't know them. No. I didn't really like the style of the main evening boss man. The daytime one I didn't mind. He was a bit of a hard ass, but he wasn't his pep talk wasn't a pep down. In the evening, it was kind of do well or it's your job. There were a couple times I worked daytimes to make up hours and stuff whenever I had an appointment or I needed to, or they moved one of my visits with my kids. And yeah, that's where I was working at the time. And, one of the places, because, and then I found out that the worker was calling my work. She wasn't merely verifying that I worked there, she was running her mouth the same way that she did to my grandpa and all that. Stuff that wasn't in the paperwork, was never in the paperwork, was never going to be, didn't happen. She was just running her mouth to destroy my support system. And I didn't... And you hear people talk about this stuff. And then you don't really expect it to actually happen to you. And then it does. And people look at you the same way that you thought about it whenever somebody said that. Man, that sounds crazy. It is crazy. But it also happens. And that's even crazier. Just because it sounds crazy doesn't mean it is. Jeez. But as far as I know, the only issue that I was having there was the fact that, she just kept on giving me shit about my boobs. That was it. And it's not like you were allowed to wear t-shirts to work, because, they'd get on you for that. They wouldn't get on one of the girls wearing the shirts down there. But if you wore a t-shirt instead of a blouse, man, I tried that. To get out of this, to get away from it, and she jumped on me for that too. I wore a t-shirt that went all the way up to here. Nope, that's not a blouse, you can't wear that to work. That's whenever I stopped caring. You won't let me wear stuff that, won't show anything no matter what. But then, I got broad shoulders and a massive chest. I'm sorry, but there's stuff I can and can't do. It's one or the other. It's either or. It's not both. Well, you can't wear this because it's not a blouse. And then I wore one that was okay, and the other manager said that it was fine afterwards. But she'd been harassing me about it. This happened so many times. She was always on my clothes. I don't know why she was always the fuck on my clothes, except for boobs. And I was actually told by one of the other girls that worked there that she would also periodically harass the other women there who had larger chests. And that's how we came to the conclusion that she was doing it because of larger chests. Basically, you weren't allowed to work there and have bigger boobs than her. You had smaller boobs than her, she didn't care. You could dress like a streetwalker for all she cared. If you had a smaller chest than her, she'd completely ignore it. just completely ignore it. And, like, it was just bad. Like, I didn't really have much of a choice there. And then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear this shirt that I made. And it was the corset type one. It's back whenever I still wore bras. So, like, the corset was meant to, like, replace a bra. It was a summer shirt. It's fucking hot. I'm walking, like, 3 blocks to work. I'm hot as fuck. You know, and boobs, like, create heat. Big boobs, especially. I didn't mind putting something on. At that point, you know, I did have something to spray on. Because, at that point, you're gonna sweat. Because it's summer. So, you know, at that point, you know, you do have that. Not because some bitch tells you to. But, like, she was telling me this, and it wasn't, you know. And then, you know, she was nitpicking my purse. It wasn't nice enough for her. Like, bitch, stop. Like, she would just find things to complain about. You know, and the teeny boppers who sat near me picked up on it. And after I talked to one of the other managers about it, they said, you know what? Let's just move you seats. You okay with that? I'm like, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. And magically, they stopped complaining because they stopped remembering that I existed to bitch about. Because they'd realized that if they did this, she would just harass me no matter what. As long as someone was making some sort of complaint. It didn't, that's the reason why they were doing it. Because they knew that she would harass me about it. Because they knew that instead of saying, you know, and they would do it right there for them to see, too. This wasn't a take you back in the office sort of thing. This was she would harass me in the middle of the floor. And, like, coworkers all around me. And, you know, this place also hired teenagers, so I had to deal with that. So they would pick up on the fact that they could get away with this, and they were these catty little bitches. And I couldn't say that because they were teeny boppers, but it's been long enough that if they aren't, yeah, they're adults by now. They have to be, because you have to be like 16 at least to work here. So it's been a while. So anyway, these little bitches would just do this, and she would just jump on it because it was an excuse. And that's all she ever wanted was an excuse. And she would just find things like, you know, my purse was fraying at an edge because I was, you know, I hadn't even noticed that it was fraying yet. Like, not really fraying, but you know how it wears on the corner? Started to wear on the corner because I don't have money to go out and buy a bunch of purses, you know? And she started picking on it. Like, and just picking on it and picking on it and picking on it. Like, everybody else had stuff like this too. She wasn't picking on them, you know? And then she would pick on other women because of their boobs. And it's like she wanted me to do something. Anything to complain about that was legit. You know? And I noticed that other women who got complaints like that, whenever they came back trying to get rehired, she didn't want to rehire most of them either. Not because they did anything, not because they were bad at their jobs, but because she's just a bitch. She doesn't like women who have bigger breasts than her. That's it. It's not that we did any worse at the job than her. It is literally because we have bigger tits. And if there was like something extra that just made her zero in on me, I don't know about it. But man, did it seem like it. Like, actually being on the receiving end, man, did it seem like it. I don't know what it was, but she hated me. And she made sure I knew it, too. Man, it wasn't no secret. I mean, there was a point one of my coworkers asked, why does she pick on you? Another person says, she picks on me, too,